So sorry for my slight delay in posting anything. It's been a crazy couple of weeks and I'm gonna do a whole video about it. I've literally got my Halloween soapbox still to edit and a haul still to edit from like literally back when I had coronavirus. But we have finally got a moving out date, so the last couple of weeks I've just been like swept along with that kind of stuff. But I've had this video sat on my phone waiting to show you another slightly odd craft video, something I saw that I wanted. So here is a video on how to make a 6-foot magic worm, because you needed that. Okay, so here I am. I've put the light on my phone, so hopefully you can see a bit better, but I am using the Nechi sewing machine. Nechi. It's the Jeans Pro, which I'm led to believe means it's slightly more hardcore, which is good because I'm hoping to sew that. I've done loads of sewing before, but only on my mum's like little tiny sewing machine. So I thought I'd make this investment and get a new one, since we'll be moving out hopefully soon, and then I can sew various different things. So what I've done, had a little practice on here so I could see what I was dealing with. I was going to use this because it's the closest I have to that, but it kept jamming, so I'm going to try with the green one this time. I've still got the yellow in there, which is what it came with, but I've got one there ready to go, a little bobbin ready for if I do need to fill it back up again. So what I'm going to do is I've got this massive fabric. It's 2.5 meters by 1.5 meters. So I'm going to cut a little bit off and just have a practice at sewing it together and see what's best. I know fur can be a bit iffy in the sewing machine, so I'm going to take it slow. Using these scissors, which I got from Spooky Box Club, which are actually really good for getting a nice like clean cut. So I'm going to do a little test strip now. From what I have learnt in my brief history, is you sew with the fur rather than like against the fur. So you sew as if you are stroking the cat. So I did have it on tension 1 because this is quite thick, but it seems like that's not tension enough. So I'm going to put it back to, well, 4 is what it says is normal, so I'm going to put it to 2 and have a go, and I can compare them again. So the 1 was maybe too tight. The 2 kind of seems perfect, and the 3 was a bit too loose. So I'm going to go with 2, but it seems to have gone through okay, and I can't see any fur in the machine. And I can't see any fur in the machine, so I mean there's a little bit on it. So hopefully that's okay. So I'm now going to work out my design. Okay, so here is my fur folded in half, so it's like double that. Literally massive. Could easily make myself a red fur dress, but no, we're making a worm. So what I'm going to do, it kind of starts with a thin nose and then it goes out. So normally if I was making a tube, I'd just sew down like here and then leave this just as a folded edge. But I just don't think that's going to work. So what I'm going to do is draw out the worm onto the inside of the fabric, which is like a more scratchy side. Then cut out the shape of the worm but with like a big border, and then go from there. That's the plan next. If I show you, here's his nose, get rid of those bits, body, all the way down to a point is the plan. I'm just cutting it out on the one side first, and then I'm going to put the cut out one on top of the other half and cut out the second side. Okay, so I've cut out the body of my magic worm. So now I'm going to lay this one on top of the rest of the fabric and cut out the second half of it, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that I've cut my two magic worm shapes, I'm going to check which way the fur goes. Obviously loads of this fur is coming off, and I assume it will do until I'm done sewing it. And I'm going to slowly start putting this together and just see how it goes. I technically should probably be tacking it or pinning it all the way around, but I'm gonna see if I can see how it goes and try and freehand it. We'll try. I may regret it. Right, I've done the first length of his snoot and it's gone okay, so I'm gonna keep going. So now that I've sewn it all together, I'm gonna put it back round the right way. So I've left a slit so that I can put it the correct way round instead of inside out. Okay, so I've turned him the correct way. This is how he looks at the moment. This is the end of his tail, and the seam goes up the sides. Let's see if I can get that far enough. This one's his nose up here. There's the gap. The gap I turned it around the right way is in his nose, as you can see. He's looking good. So now I'm going to start stuffing him. I've got quite a lot of stuffing, so I'm just going to see how far it goes. If not, I've got some like balls that go in a bean bag. Okay, so it has been stuffed. Obviously still need to sew up its nose, but here it is. I used 4 different stuff to stuff it. So I just used some regular toy stuffing here, some wadding here, some like bean bag balls here, and then just toy stuffing again at the top. So I think I'm going to hand sew its nose, but there it is. Kind of looks a bit like a carrot, but
or chili pepper.
Or chili pepper. When it's got its eyes on, it will definitely make more sense. So just hoovered the excess stuff off of it. So now I need to hand stitch that bit, but just to give you an idea, if I place them down, it looks like this. I got these googly eyes. They're called Spooky Self-Adhesive Googly Eyes. If you just type in like giant googly eyes, I will link them down below, into like Google or eBay. They come up. They're just massive. They're gonna go one there, one there, and then I should have a massive magic worm and one very confused dog. But I'm going to sew that first, and well, actually I'll be watching a film.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stick those on now, and then I'll hand stitch that while watching a film, and I'll show you the results tomorrow. So the eyes kept falling off because the stick was like incredibly rubbish. I think it was literally just meant for like a one-time stick kind of jazz. So Mike took the eyes and drilled like holes all the way around them, as you can see, and I'm just literal, so this is the first one which is done, sewing it on there, so there's like no way that's going to come off. I was going to staple it, but then Mike came up with the idea of drilling it, and actually it's much nicer and they're kind of more curved with the worm's head. So I'm just finishing this bit off now.
And I did some sewing too. It's a star.
What? Okay, so that was my tutorial journey to making my massive worm. Here is his face now that his eyes have been glued on. So to show you, here is his nose and his eyes, and then here's his tail. Let me see if I can show you a bit better. He is the cuddliest thing ever. Just to show you him in all his beauty, he is so big and so squishy. Dum, dum, dum. And he can also sit, as you can see, just like Tiddles can. Hey Tiddles? Vogue. Don't really know. Just if you make one, let me see it. We could be worm buddies. So thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions, comments, please leave them down below if it's somewhere you are. I hope you're enjoying the shade, and we will see you next time. Bye!